Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
There are a lot of signs of growing up, and one of them is when you stop blaming other people for the things that occur in your life. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Glad you guys are with me. It is the Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com. Albert Ellis said this, and I've paraphrased it. Many of you probably have said something similar, but he said the best years of your life are the ones in which you decide your problems are your own. You realize that you control your own destiny. Now, let me tell you something. The left does not want minorities of any sort, special interests, whatever you want to call these groups. What they don't want them to know is they control their own destiny. I don't have any daughters, but I would defy anyone to tell me, would you tell your daughter, oh man, you are going to face a cruel world and men are going to get you. And if you're a white girl, well, you got this white privilege. And if you're a white boy, well, you've got toxic masculinity and all these other things. Or do you tell your kids, look, you're going to face problems, trials and tribulations, as the Bible would say, and you're going to have to overcome them because that's what life is about. That's how you grow. When you're a child, people deal with your problems, the problems that they shield you from problems. That's what your parents are for. Society shields you from problems when you're a child. They say that child's not eating. I'll feed him. That child doesn't have a home. I'll find them a home. That child can't get to school or can't do this, doesn't understand, can't, needs a tutor, whatever. Society takes care of you. And then there comes a point where society, your parents, everybody says you're out of the nest. The problem with government, the problem with Democrats, the problem with progressives, with leftists, with bonehead, moronic, idiotic people. I did say they were leftists, right? The problem with these people is they never want you to grow up. They want you to constantly have an excuse for why you can't achieve something, why you couldn't make something happen. There's a boogeyman for everybody. If you're a Mexican, particularly if you're illegal, there's a boogeyman. If you're a Muslim, there's a boogeyman. If you're a woman, there's a boogeyman. If you're a white, take that back. If you're black anything, there's a boogeyman. There's a boogeyman which gives you an excuse. And here's the problem. No matter what they tell you, at the end of the day, life doesn't care. They can tell you that. They can make you feel that way. They can pretend that government's going to take care of all your problems. I promise you, government isn't going to be there any more than the police are going to be. The police come after the fact. Government comes after the fact. And here's the deal. Even if they come after the fact, whatever crime's been committed to you has been committed. So when you finally learn that your best line of defense, your best line of protection, your best line of offense even, and defense, the yin and the yang of life, begin with you. You're your best defender and you're your best offender. And hopefully when you offend, you are doing something positive. You are creating a company. You are creating a circumstance that is positive to your being, your well-being. If you're a defender, I hope you're good at it. I hope you've gone through the tutelage of having had lots of scrapes and scraps in your life. So by the time it matters for you, so just using my life as an example, there are many, I fought from the time I was 4 or 5 years old. I'm talking about in the street, fighting my cousins, my brother, my whatever. Fought. Learned how to fight. And when it came time for somebody to, where it mattered to me, a matter of principle or whatever, I was more than prepared. Much more so than my opponents. I'm not talking about in the ring. That's a whole other thing there. I mean, you obviously want to be ready for that. I'm talking about when it matters. Somebody that's like threatening your life or threatening to, it's something that could impact you going forward. Oh yeah, I was more than prepared. There are many people out there that have had a run-in with me that went, that didn't go the way I thought it was. Prepped, man. And it was all those little micro battles. I got asked a question the other day when I was speaking at the Dorchester conference. Kevin, how do you handle microaggressions? And I went, where everybody feels like they're upset about this or that. I go, I ignore them. I hope I aggress you. I hope I make you think. I hope I challenge every sensibility that you have. And whether what the topic is, one guy asked me about black culture. I go, really? So let's talk about black culture. What is black culture? Because black culture in the 1940s was, we were the hardest working people. We were religious, spiritual not to a fault, but to a good fault. We believed in education. And I'm not talking about the one you get today. I'm talking about the real one. We were the most trusted people on the planet. We had the most whole families. We bucked the system when the system needed bucking, not because we wanted to use it as an excuse. And I could go on. That was black culture in the 1950s. I said, and then the black culture of the 1960s came into protecting ourselves and being proud of being black. You can look at these blaxploitation films and Cleopatra Jones and all this. We were warriors against the system, an oppressive system, a system built by Democrats. That was black culture of the system of the 60s. Black culture of the 80s was about a renaissance of black people, a second renaissance, because the first one came in the 20s with the Harlem Renaissance movement, dance and couture and things like that. But came the 80s, you got the black people became revived in things. We were, mainstream culturally. We had high profile blacks like the Jeffersons moving on up to the east side, right? We had Room 222, which was a show about a black school where kids weren't getting kicked out every day. Black educators were actually educating kids and cared about them. And it was a really cool show. Denise Nicholas, one of the most beautiful women in the world, was in that show. And I could go on. Barefoot in the Park with Scoey Mitchell. It was a middle income black family that was doing great. It wasn't your typical, yes, a boss and all that. So we had that black culture. And then you fast forward to today where kids are wearing their pants under their butt and, got grills and the uniform of the thug and all this. Is that the which black culture are you talking about? It's culture. It's American culture. And there are aspects of it that grow, that come and go. But this isn't the, what do you mean? Black culture. You got white people wanting to cultivate black culture like Dolezal. That's the culture she wants, to wear dreadlocks and be a sister. Lots of aspects to black culture. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We'll be back next week.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful four-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.